Today we're going to make a St. Nicholas apple. St. Nicholas was a bishop that lived about 750 years ago. And today we're going to do a very fun activity. And it's very simple, as you can see. So you're going to need a shiny red apple, 1 whole walnut, a few raisins, a few toothpicks, some cotton balls, a glue stick, tape, a black marker, scissors, and a piece of red construction paper. First, you're going to take the stem out of the middle of the apple. This was already kind of broken, but sometimes you have to twist it out. Take the stem out of the top. Take a toothpick and push the larger end of the toothpick into the apple, not too far down, just like that, just so it's secure. Then take your walnut and look for the bottom of the walnut that really has a little tiny opening. You can almost feel it with your finger. And you stick the other end of the toothpick in the walnut like that, and there you have the body and the head of our St. Nicholas. Works perfectly, and look how secure that is. So then we're just going to paint, we're just going to draw, not necessarily paint, with a marker, 2 eyes on St. Nicholas. And don't put them too far down because he's going to have a lot of white beard, and as you saw. So we paint or mark 2 eyes like that. Okay, don't need anything else. That's all you need that marker for. Okay, then we're going to use a glue stick and cotton balls. Okay, cotton balls are very easy to use for this, and you can just shape his beard like that, a long beard, and you can pull it a little bit and see how that's going to go. So you can even pretend that he has a nose, and you're going to stick it like that so it even can stick out like that. Okay. And what I do is I actually use glue stick. Gets a little messy, but it's actually not as messy as the liquid glue. I just kind of scrape some on, and I put it on the edge of the cotton and just stick it there. Okay. And just hold it a little bit. It's almost like putty. Okay. So there's his beard. Next thing we do, take another piece. This time I just pull, I'm going to take half of one because I'm going to make his hair on top of his head. This is kind of fun. It's kind of silly. But he was I'm sure he was a very happy man, very generous and very loving of his neighbors. Okay, so we put his hair on the top of his head like that. Okay. Okay. Now, bishops have a very special hat that's called a mitre. The way we're going to make the mitre is you take a piece of red construction paper, and you're going to cut a triangle that is about 3 inches long on the base. And the way I do that is I take a big piece of construction paper and I cut off a corner that is approximately that size. Okay, so it's like right about there. Okay. Now, this gets a little tricky. What you're going to do, you can see what I'm doing here, I'm kind of measuring his head with my construction paper like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you measure the head, and then you're going to tape it. You're going to tape the construction paper hat to the cotton. You're going to tape your hat like this. Watch. We'll just tape the hat in the back, kind of fit it to his head, and then we tape it in the back like that, so it's his little hat, or I should say it's his bishop's hat, and it's called a mitre. Okay, and then it's going to stick on his hair. Gotta get it centered. Okay, and that's the tricky part. You gotta kind of use your glue around the edge of the hat, you know, like this. If you want to use a toothpick for all of this, that's fine. I always get my fingers sticky when I'm doing things, doing activities. So here we go. We just stick it on with the glue, and it just sits there, and it'll dry. It does stay. Just be careful not to bump it too much. Then you can just play with the rest of the cotton, and you can have cotton on the two sides of his face like this. Now this glue stick dries clear, so it does look kind of silly with the purple, but it does dry clear, okay? So if you use that, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it being purple, because when it's dry, it'll be all clear, okay? Just little, you can play with the cotton. Okay, here we go. This side, how's he looking now? Looks kind of funny. I think he's probably chuckling. What do you think? Ho, ho, ho. Okay, there. So now you can put the buttons on his cloak, his red cloak. You're not going to need any more cotton. Take that off there. And you just take some raisins, and you just stick a little piece of broken off piece of toothpick through the raisin. Okay, this gets a little bit, okay. Stick the raisin through, and then you stick them. This is so easy to make the buttons on his cloak. Okay, and maybe one more. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there you go. That's the basic St. Nicholas apple. You can add to it all you want. You can be creative about it. You can decorate the bishop's hat more if you'd like, and you can decide whether you want arms on him or whether you want him to have a staff, and you can think of all sorts of things. Read up on St. Nicholas. He has a very interesting life and story. So here we go. And every St. Nicholas apple is different. They all turn out so different. And you'll see that the purple dried very clear on the finished product. So happy Feast of St. Nicholas Day on December 6th.